Okay, Monday Night Football. It is the Detroit Lions 1-1 visiting the Baltimore Ravens, who are also 1-1. Is this a Super Bowl preview? We've got a lot to offer in this game. God, I wish I was still in the booth broadcasting this, but I'm not, but I'm still going to enjoy it. Let's get into it. This Monday Night Preview is presented by DraftKings. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout. With DraftKings Sportsbook, an official partner of the NFL. New customers, this one's for you. Bet $5 and get $200 of bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code GRUDEN, G-R-U-D-E-N. The crown is yours. This Top of Mind is brought to you by Chevrolet. Football season is here, and whether you're grinding through the week or gearing up for kickoff, there's one ride that's always game ready, the Chevy Silverado. Built for the hustle, ready for the game. Silverado is America's most dependable full-size truck. Head to Chevy.com to learn more and build your own Chevy Silverado. Okay, Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. This game features two excellent coaches, fiery guys, man. I've got to visit both of these teams in the offseason. It's a pleasure watching John Harbaugh work with the Baltimore Ravens. What a culture he has created. And Dan Campbell, the king of grit. Man, they worked their ass off in Detroit. They worked their butts off in Baltimore. And these two teams collide on national television. As I said, it looks like a Super Bowl preview to me. Both of these teams are coming off impressive wins. You know what I love about these two teams, Jake? What? Is they responded to adversity. You know, they lose a game, it's very important that you avenge a loss with a decisive victory. And that's just what happened last week. Detroit had Chicago come to town with one of their old coaches. Kaboom! They put a 50-burger on him and got him out of town. And the Baltimore Ravens, they welcomed their division rival Cleveland Browns to town, and they destroyed them. And it was a pleasure to watch these two teams respond to a little bit of adversity. But this game features everything. The fiery coaches, Campbell and Harbaugh, great quarterbacks. Can you imagine having Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff on the same field? What's the price of a ticket here? I want to know. I want to go. They also have some of the great running backs in football. King Henry of the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. He can run the rock. How about Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery? That's a quartet, isn't it? Is that a quartet? 4. I thought of that. You can tell I went to Dayton. They also have some of the best safeties you will see. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch of the Detroit Lions. Good Lord. And you got Kyle Hamilton and the emerging rookie Malachi Starks of the Ravens. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in this game. As I said, both teams responded with a big victory last week. The Lions have proven they love adversity. They love the misery. They can fight through this crap. All the negativity from that 27-14 loss to the Packers. The Lions have won 11 straight games coming off a loss. Is that not a credit to them, Clay? A lot of guys, they start pointing fingers, they come unglued, they start crying. Not the Lions. They'll kick your ass, man. They avenge defeats with victory. That's impressive. And the Baltimore Ravens, they lost a 15-point lead with 4 minutes to go. That would really affect me emotionally. You know, that would affect a lot of people. They'd come undone. But the Baltimore Ravens put it back together, and they kicked Cleveland's butt. They're 13-2 in the last 15 games coming off a loss. That's a real credit to John Harbaugh, his coaching staff, and the veteran leadership that the Baltimore Ravens have. Everybody talks about the Ravens relinquishing some 10-point leads in the fourth quarter. We've heard that, haven't we, Jake? Yep. But last week, they had a 10-point lead against Cleveland going into the fourth quarter, and guess what they did? They outscored the Browns 21-0. They ran over Cleveland like a Chevy Silverado, man. But holding a 10-point lead against Cleveland is a hell of a lot different than holding a 10-point lead against the Lions because they got some comeback players. That's why this game is great. The Ravens are going to wear all black in this game. They call it the Darkness Falls. Last year when they put that black on, they kicked Buffalo's ass 35-10. And I checked this because I have nothing to do here. They're 20-6 when they wear these black-on-black uniforms at home. So good luck to Detroit. That's important to note. You know, there's these over-unders I'm starting to learn about at DraftKings, you know. 53.5 is the total points that they think are going to be scored in this game. So I'm just throwing this out to you. Do you know that since the start of 2023, the Detroit Lions averaged 30.3 points a game? And since the start of 2023, the Baltimore Ravens average 30.1. So I did my math. That's 60.4. Hence, take the over. This game looks like it's going to go over big time. Since the start of 2023, the Lions have the #1 pass offense. They throw it for 264 yards a game. And the Baltimore Ravens have the #1 rushing offense since the start of 2023. They ram it down your throat for 170 yards a game. The Lions scored 52 points last week against Chicago. That's the second most points they've scored in franchise history. And did you know Baltimore has scored over 40 points in back-to-back games to start the season? Only 6 teams in NFL history have done that. And if they score over 40 against the Lions, they'll be the first team in NFL history to start the season with 40, 40, 40. So I would take the over in this game. Whew, I'm tired already. The Ravens and the Lions don't have a huge history. They've only played each other 7 times, but the Ravens have won 5 straight against the Detroit Lions. The last time they played was 2023 in Baltimore, and I hate to say it, Detroit, but the Ravens won the game 38-6. Lamar Jackson went completely crazy, threw for 357 yards, 3 touchdowns, and these numbers should ring a bell, Detroit. 155.8. That's the highest passer rating possible. He shredded you. Jared Goff was 33 for 53, 284, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and a lopsided win. The Ravens, 5 straight wins against the Lions. The Lions are 1-6 all time against Baltimore, their last win coming in 2005. Baltimore is a prime-time football team. They've won 5 straight games on Monday night. That's the longest streak in the NFL, tied with Pittsburgh. And Detroit loves it as well. They've won 3 straight games on Monday Night Football. You know, on Monday Night Football, that stage brings out the best in these quarterbacks. Think of this. Jared Goff is 7-2 all time. He's thrown 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in 9 Monday night games. Lamar Jackson, he's 7-2. Jake, he's thrown 22 touchdowns, no picks. And he's rushed for almost 700 yards. So these 2 guys love the lights, and that's what I love about them. Lamar Jackson against the NFC. Just a couple more tidbits for you. He's 24-2, man, against the NFC. That's a .923 winning percentage. Nobody's ever had a better winning percentage against non-conference opponents than Lamar Jackson. This game features 2 great quarterbacks. And just think about Jared Goff when you watch him. What he does at the line of scrimmage, it's incredible. He gets the Lions in good plays. He gets them out of bad plays. He's very accurate. He's got great anticipation. And what he does probably the best is he stands in there under fire, man, and throws strikes. He's the ultimate weapon throwing the football. He's very tough in the pocket. He does a great job of distributing the ball to all 5 eligibles, and he's very consistent with his performance. He's kind of like Magic Johnson, you know, he used to play for the Michigan State Spartans or the Lakers. He doesn't telegraph throws. He has all the releases. He's accurate. He's a great competitor. He's clutch, and he's tough as shit, man. Every single week. I love him. And then you got Lamar Jackson. He does it all. He sees the most difficult defensive schemes every week. Defensive coaches stay up all night trying to stop him. 3-man rush, 4-man rush, 6-man rush. Hey, let's have a spy on the quarterback. Let's stunt the front. Let's play a loaded box. Let's play a light box. Lamar Jackson, he'll break your ankles, man, like Michael Jordan going to the basket. This guy's unbelievable. He takes shots down the field. He's a vertical passer. He can do it all in the pocket or out of the pocket. Both of these quarterbacks are magnificent playmakers in their systems, and they're surrounded with a lot of weapons, right, Jake? Right. I mean, a lot of great players. Both of these quarterbacks come into Monday Night Football red hot. They're coming off last week's games. They combined for 9 touchdown passes. So look out. Here they come. Think about Lamar Jackson for a second if you want to put 2 statistics into your mind. Number 1, he just became the all-time leading passing efficient quarterback in history. His QB rating is 102.6. Number 1 of all time, higher than Aaron Rodgers. And he's the number 1 all-time leading rusher. He's rushed for almost 7,000 freaking yards, man. So he's the best passer and the best rusher. How you going to stop him? I don't know. I do not know. I wish you luck. The running backs in this game, unbelievable. Henry was 6 1,000-yard seasons in his career. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's rushed for 1,000 yards twice. The Lions have Jahmyr Gibbs. He's done it 1 time, and David Montgomery's done it twice. These 4 runners have combined for 11 1,000-yard seasons. And last year, Derrick Henry, 1,900-plus yards. He finished 2nd. Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions had over 1,400 yards. He finished 5th. And Gibbs and Henry had 16 rushing touchdowns. That tied James Cook for the most in the NFL. Unbelievable production. The Ravens, the number 1 rushing team last year, 5.8 yards a carry. They ran it for 188 yards. And Detroit, hell, they ran it for 146 yards a game. That's 7th in the NFL with 4.7 yards per carry. And both of these teams, man, are committed to running the rock. Baltimore ran it almost 53% of the time. That's 2nd in the league to Philadelphia. And the Lions ran it 48% of the time. Believe it or not, that's 7th in the league. So the running games, the quarterbacks, and these safeties, man. Brian Branch of the Detroit Lions wears number 32. He plays all over the field. And what he did last week was unbelievable. You know, Branch, in his first 3 seasons, not many guys have 15 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, and 3 sacks. Not in your first 3 seasons. Only Ed Reed and some guy named Kyle Hamilton of the Ravens. So we have 2 of the most productive dynamite safeties in this game. Branch of the Lions, Hamilton of the Ravens. And let me tell you, Kirby Joseph, number 31 of the Lions, he led the NFL in interceptions last year with 9. He got 1 last week. This guy's a great player as well. And the emerging Malachi Starks, 1st-round pick for the Ravens out of Georgia. There are 4. That's another quartet for you of great safeties in this game. Both teams, we have to talk about their young kickers. Jake Bates. We've talked about Bates before. He was selling bricks, and now he is delivering the mail for Detroit. He's off to a good start, 3 for 4 on field goals. He missed a 55-yarder last week, and he missed the landing zone on one of the kickoffs. So he's got to pick it up a little bit. And rookie Tyler Loop replaced Justin Tucker. So far, so good. He's 4 for 4 on field goals, 9 out of 10 on PATs. Most importantly, let's take a look at the injuries. There are some notable injuries you got to look at. Detroit, I don't think they're going to have Marcus Davenport, number 92, a good starting pass rusher and defensive end. He hurt that shoulder last week in the 3rd quarter on a really good rush. Jack Campbell, their starting inside linebacker, leading tackler. He'll probably play through it, but he's got a sore ankle. Taylor Decker, their starting left tackle. He's missed some practice time with the shoulder, but I believe he's going to go. He did return to practice on Friday. For the Baltimore Ravens, they're missing my guy, the straw man, Patrick Ricard. He's the straw that stirs the drink, man. This guy plays fullback, tight end, H-back. He's got a calf problem. He's not going to play, I don't think. He hasn't played yet this season, and they need him back. A big injury for the Ravens is Matabike, their starting defensive tackle, man. He's a hell of a player. He's by far the Ravens' best inside rusher. He's out of the game with a neck strain, and that's a huge concern for Baltimore. Number 92 is out. Isaiah Likely, a very productive receiving tight end. He hasn't played yet this year. He had a foot operation earlier in August. He's close to returning, but I don't think he's going to play much in this game. Kyle Van Noy is out. Another pass rusher, starting outside linebacker, defensive end. Hell, he had 12.5 sacks last year. He hurt his hamstring against Cleveland. He's out. And Nate Wiggins, starting corner, has missed some practice time with the groin strain. So John Harbaugh missing a lot of guys. That could impact this game. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's get into it. This offense and defensive match is brought to you by Fox 1. On Fox 1, you can stream your favorite live sports. So you never miss those "did you see that" moment? That means Fox NFL Sundays are now on Fox 1. It's NFL Sundays, all streaming live, the way it was meant to be watched. I hate watching on delay. I gotta see things live with my own eyes. Start your 7-day free trial today. Offers are subject to change. Go to Fox 1 for complete terms and conditions. Okay, the Detroit Lions offense really had a rousing performance last week against the Chicago Bears. 52 points, no turnovers, and they had a lot of yards rushing and passing. They ripped them, man. Offensive coordinator John Morton was on fire as a play caller. He had the Bears completely off balance. Right now, the Detroit Lions have a balanced offense. They had it last year, and they've had it for the last few years. The ball distribution is excellent. They throw the ball to the backs. They throw the ball to the tight end, and they throw the ball to an assortment of talented wide receivers. Very impressive is how versatile these Lion players are. For instance, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I saw him playing running back last week and carry the ball 2 or 3 times. He's in the slot, he's out wide, he's in motion. Laporta, he can line up as a wide receiver, a slot receiver, or a tight end. I look all over the place for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's over there in an empty backfield set. He's in the pistol. He's in the shotgun. He's under this. It's all over the place, these Detroit Lions. It's a credit to them. And Jared Goff is completing almost 81% of the time. I used to play catch with our ball boy in pregame warm-up. Hell, I couldn't complete 80% with my ball boy. This guy's doing it in the National Football League. It's really something. Incredible timing. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plant, ball. 1, 2, 3, hitch, ball. He's got great rhythm and timing, and he throws it early. He's got great what? Excellent. He's got great anticipation. He throws the ball before they're out of the break, and it's incredible to watch. He has excellent movement in the pocket. Young quarterbacks, I believe in continuous movement. Joe Montana, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff. They're like boxers in the ring, and they create passing lanes. They don't get balls jammed back at them. They do an excellent job sensing throwing lanes, and he stands in there. But what Goff does the best is he reads your mail. He gets up to the line of scrimmage. He uses a lot of different motions and shifts. He can read what coverage you're in. He smells out blitzes. He'll have 3 plays that he can access at the snap of a finger, and he keeps the Lions in optimum play selection. If it's cover 3, we're going to attack cover 3. If it's man-to-man, we're going to attack man-to-man. Split safeties, we got something for that. But he does an unbelievable job feeding his horses, and he's got some great horses that like to eat, man. It's freaking awesome. The running game is very good with Gibbs and Montgomery. Gibbs and Montgomery have scored a touchdown in the same game 10 times. That's what Paul Hornung and Jim Taylor did for Vince Lombardi. That's what Joe the Jet Perry and Hugh McElhaney did for the 49ers way back in the day. These 2 guys can jam it down your throat. They can get to the outside with perimeter sweeps and tosses with the best of them. And when they get that running game going, it sets up the best part of Detroit's offense, in my opinion, which is the play-action pass. And when Ben Johnson was with the Lions calling plays, Jared Goff threw a play-action pass 29% of the time. And now under John Morton, he throws a play-action pass 33% of the time. And Over the last few years, Goff leads the NFL in completions, yards, and touchdowns on play-action passes. So when you fake it to Montgomery, the linebackers step up and they throw the ball right in behind them. And they've done it as good as anybody for quite some time. The biggest thing to me in this game for Detroit is our offensive line. They got a brand new setup inside. Yes, Taylor Decker is still here at left tackle, number 68, and Sewell is still there at right tackle, number 58. But they have a rookie, Tate Ratledge, at right guard, and they moved Glasgow from left guard to center, and now Christian Mahogany is the left guard. Mahogany's only started a few games, and this will only be the third start for Tate Ratledge. But I think it's really important that the center, Glasgow, he gets that communication out better in the noise on the road. They had numerous breakdowns in Green Bay, and it cost them big time. So keep an eye on the communication in the noise against this Raven defense, because defensive coordinator Zach Orr of the Ravens will give them some multiple looks to try to screw them up. Detroit will come out with multiple formations. They might not run the same formation twice in the first quarter. They got a lot of different personnel groupings. They can use 2 tight ends or 3 receivers. They can use a 2-back set or a no-back set. They're very multiple. They use a lot of compressed sets, meaning they'll take their receivers and they'll put them right next to the tackle or in a close split next to the tight end. And they'll have their receivers run routes. I call them spray releases. They'll get their width and their depth, and they get a lot of free access coverage. But these receivers in these close splits, they can run all kind of routes against off coverage with these spray releases. It's pretty cool. And then finally, offensive coordinator John Morton, I work with him in the Raiders. I work with him a couple different places, and he's a hell of a coach. He sits in this room all night. He's going to come up with some new concepts on a weekly basis, because if you haven't seen it, you can't prepare for it. And whatever your primary coverage structure is, he's got something to chew your face off. I mean, this guy's a hell of a coach. So I can't wait to see what he does. And then the Lions are going to have 4 downs 2 or 3 times in this game. So you know Dan Campbell, especially in short yardage and in red zone situations, he's going for it. So Baltimore's got to be ready for that. Let's talk about the Raven defense led by Zach Orr. We know last year they were the number 1 rushing defense, and they were number 31 or 32 against the pass. Not a lot has changed. Right now they're 31st against the pass. As you know, Josh Allen put together a historic quarter against these Ravens. I think they had 264 yards in 1 quarter, but they played better Sunday against Cleveland. Now, what are we going to do in Baltimore with our pass rush? The number 1 thing you have to do to Jared Goff is you got to knock him off the spot. You got to hit him. You got to sack him. You got to get to this guy. If he stands back there uncontested, it's a complete pass. Van Noy, 12.5 sacks, out. Matabike, their best inside rusher, good God, he's out. So where are we going to get the pressure? No rush, no chance. So might we see a little bit more blitzing and zone blitzing from Zach Orr? I would keep an eye on that. They also are beat up in the secondary. Jair Alexander, all the hype about signing him, he's not going to be active. He's still nursing a knee. Nate Wiggins, their promising young corner, he's nursing a groin. Hell, Marlon Humphrey, their excellent nickel, missed a day of practice, I believe. He's sore and beat up. So there are some injuries up front, and there are some nicked up guys in the secondary, which could be problematic against this crowd from Detroit. They did get redemption. After that breakdown in the 4th quarter against Buffalo, I like the way the Ravens came out against Cleveland. Matter of fact, in the Browns' first 8 possessions, they punted 6 times. They gave up 3 points and 115 yards. The Ravens came out active, and it was impressive. They were led by number 0. You know how I hate that number, Jake? Everybody's wearing 0 now. But Roquan Smith, he was unbelievable. All over the field. He took it personal. I think Coach Harbaugh had a really good message for his team after that loss to Buffalo. And I think Roquan took it personal. I heard there was like a private dinner. A lot of the defensive players got some things off their chest. And I think Roquan Smith was on a mission last week. I mean, he put on a performance of the ages. He had 15 tackles. He scooped up a fumble, ran it back for 60 yards. He smashed the quarterback. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. They forced 2 turnovers against Cleveland. And that's what I'm talking about. Both of them resulted in touchdowns. In 2024, the Ravens only forced 17 turnovers. And that is very un-Raven-like. Are you guys with me? Yep. So that was a key message from Zach Orr and Coach Harbaugh. Get the ball back. Intercept it, knock it loose, pick it up, and score points on defense. And I thought that was a big improvement last week against the Browns. What I saw from Zach Orr last week was a lot of the Predators. Remember what the Predators are. There was about 5 of these. They line up in a 4-down system, and you think these 4 guys are coming, but they don't. They drop one, and they bring the opposite linebacker. They really screwed up the Cleveland Browns protection system. And let me tell you, Sampson, the young running back for Baltimore, some of you young running backs out there, you better put your chin strapped on against these Predator blitzes because Roquan Smith ran over a couple of these backs. Big time. So Gibbs and Montgomery got to be ready for some blitzes in this game. I do believe with the injury to Matabuke and the injury to Vinoy, I think there's some more blitzes coming to you this weekend. What Baltimore did is they replaced Trenton Simpson with the rookie linebacker from California. We'll get into in a second. And the Baltimore Ravens made a change in their lineup last week. They benched Trenton Simpson at linebacker, and they went with Buchanan, a rookie 4th-round pick from California. Buchanan's got to be alert for Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield on choice routes and a variety of different underneath patterns. That's one of the things that Gibbs does as well as anybody. He comes out of the backfield catching a football. So the underneath coverage of the Ravens has got to be really on top of it. They got to have a plan against no backs. I really believe the Lions are going to come out and spread Baltimore out. They're going to try to make the young Buchanan, make Roquan Smith cover down, and that could open up some avenues for Laporta and obviously Jahmyr Gibbs. And finally, where is the inside pass rush coming from Baltimore? Remember, Glasgow's a new center, Ratledge is a rookie guard, and Mahogany's just started his career at left guard. We had hoped to see Matabuke go in there and take off against these 2 young guards. Who's it gonna be? I want to find out. Finally, have your 4th down calls ready. Don't be shocked if Dan Campbell doesn't go for it in some 4th down situations when you least expect it. Let's get into the matchups. All right, here's the matchups. The Detroit Lion offensive line we've talked about. Just keep an eye on Taylor Decker and that shoulder problem. That is very important. And over here at right tackle, Sewell still is one of the best in the game. The inside 3 is going to be under the microscope in this game. The communication and the noise, blocking blitzes, picking up stunts. Young group, Ratledge and Mahogany especially, are just getting going at guard. And they're going to go up against a team that's missing their top pass rusher inside and one of their top pass rushers outside. We've already talked about it. So I expect Jones, number 98, he is a mammoth run-stuffing defensive tackle. I think they got to rev up his pass rush. He's got to push the pocket and help knock Goff off the spot. Broderick Washington, 96. He's been around a long time. This is his time to step up. And they got a rookie, 93. His name is Peebles. He's out of Virginia Tech. I think he's a 6th-round pick. I saw some twitch. I saw some movement late in the game against Cleveland. Keep an eye on Peebles to step up in this game. They also have the massive John Jenkins, number 94. He's played a long time. He is a great run defender. But I think Peebles and Broderick Washington have got to step up on the inside. And outside, my guy for the Lions is Odafe Owe. He's number 99 out of Penn State. He had 10 sacks last year. Been awful quiet this year. But that speed, That get-off he has, I would love to see him come over here and get some shots at Decker, who's got that sore shoulder. So keep an eye on Owe 99. It's time for him in prime time to step it up. The guy that's on the rise for the Ravens is number 95, Tavius Robinson. He reminds me of a guy they had in Baltimore years ago named Judon. Judon came out of nowhere, kind of like Robinson has. This guy made some impact plays last week against the run and the pass. 95 Robinson, 99 Owe. Got to step it up. They also have Mike Green, number 45, second-round pick out of Marshall, who led the country in sacks. He had a nice hit on Flacco last week. He's not the biggest guy, but he's like a light switch, man. He can get off the ball. They got 3 good outside rushers. They need Washington. They need Peebles to step it up on the inside. And David Ojobo, who's been inactive the last couple games out of Michigan, I would expect him to get some turns as well, wearing number 90. They got to send a wave of rushers at Jared Goff. The matchups on the outside are interesting. The Lions, they're going to go to Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's the best in the business, if you ask me. If I could have one receiver today, not to make anybody mad, which I usually do, I would like to have this sumbitch. He is really something. I mean, God almighty, 9 catches, 3 touchdowns last week against the Bears, and he does it from everywhere. He's in the slot, he's out wide, he's in motion, he's in the backfield. He's very productive. He has the trust of his quarterback. I mean, he and Goff, it's like poetry. It's like art watching these guys work together. This guy is sudden, man. He's crisp. He has an urgency about him. He has the ability to run with the ball after the catch. He'll block your ass off for his teammates. He's a fantastic player. And when they put him in this fly sweep motion, he'll come over here at warp speed. He'll come out of it and run an 18-yard dagger. He can run routes from a compressed set, out of motion. He's fantastic, and I love watching him play. Knock on a grease board if you're with me. Shit. And to see him against Marlon Humphrey, it's going to be like going to one of those UFC heavyweight fights. I mean, these guys are going to compete their ass off on every single play. Not many guys play football like Marlon Humphrey of the Ravens. There's a sign in their building, "Play like a Raven." And there's a picture of Marlon Humphrey right underneath it. These are 2 badasses that will have a great, great battle. You know, Amon-Ra St. Brown came into the league in 2021, and guess who has the most catches, Jake?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
443. He's unbelievable. Outside, they have Jamison Williams. He's wearing number 1. Perhaps the most feared deep receiver in football. Already 6 catches, 131 yards, 22 yards a catch. He's something. He's a home run threat, and he also can clear out these deep zones. He can run through the safety at warp speed, and the safety in the corner fly out of there, and here comes somebody in behind him. This guy's a real problem for defenses. And who is the 3rd receiver for the Detroit Lions? Is it Khalif Raymond, the twitchy slot receiver, great punt returner? Or is it this new guy they got in the draft from Arkansas? Have you seen this Isaac Tesla? Like a Tesla. He's got 2 catches. He's like a walking highlight reel. Both one-handed stabs. I mean, this guy's something else. He starts his career at Hillsdale College, transfers to Arkansas. He was a wing T quarterback in high school. Now he's emerging as another badass weapon for the Lions, like they really need it. That's a real good deal for Detroit. And who's going to be the corner over here? It'll probably be Nate Wiggins, their emerging second-year player out of Clemson. The former number 1 pick had an interception last week. I think this guy's star is on the rise. He has been targeted 16 times. I've seen 12 catches over there for 152 yards, a touchdown, but he also had the pick last week. Wiggins, keep an eye on that groin. They need him to step up big. The other corner's name is Awuzie. He's one of the top free agents that the Ravens picked up. He was under the radar. Everybody thought it'd be Alexander. But this young man wearing number 3 has come in at right corner and played well. The veteran Awuzie and the young guy Wiggins, you got to have your game on this Monday night. But the 2 safeties are the strength of this Lion defense. Kyle Hamilton, number 14, and obviously the rookie Malachi Starks. You know, the Swiss Army knife Hamilton, he plays free safety, dime linebacker. He plays in the slot. He's already got 14 tackles, 2 passes broken up, a forced fumble. He's going to have a big day over here against Sam Laporta, the very good tight end of the Lions, who's already caught 9 passes for over 100 yards. Laporta in the red zone on 3rd down is a factor. And they're going to need Hamilton to not only come up here and handle this great running attack of the Lions, but he's going to have to take Laporta in some critical moments. And Malachi Starks, he's played 96% of the plays in 2 games. He's got 14 tackles. This was a ball magnet, versatile player at Georgia. I think you're going to see more and more from Starks at or near the line of scrimmage. Both can cover, both have range, both can come down in the box, and both can blitz. So these 2 safeties, critical chess pieces for defensive coordinator Zach Orr. And who's it going to be at linebacker other than Roquan Smith? I mean, what Roquan did last week against Cleveland is almost unprecedented. Have you seen a linebacker get 15 tackles, 3 TFL, score a touchdown, hit the quarterback twice in 1 game? No, you haven't. And wait till you see the tape. I would show it to you, but it's not allowed, you see. It's a financial setback galore if I showed you the tape. But I'll figure out how to get to you guys because I know you love football. But Smith, he's a badass. And as I said, Teddy Buchanan, number 40, he's going to have a target on him. He's going to be targeted by Gibbs in the passing game. But I'll say this about Buchanan. He stepped up in there against some of these guards and fullbacks last week, did a nice job. We have a lot of battles. The Lions, one of the top offenses in the last decade, against the Ravens, who need this game. You can only measure your defense against the great offenses, Jake. It didn't do a great job against Buffalo. Now what's it going to be on national TV against the Detroit Lions? This is going to be cool. Okay, the Baltimore Raven offense against the Detroit Lion defense has just as many intriguing matchups as the flip side. Offense of the Ravens is led by Todd Monken. He's in his 3rd year as the offensive coordinator, and it shows. They can do a lot, running and passing. They returned 10 out of 11 starters from last year's offense, which shredded a lot of people. The thing you got to know, though, they are missing Patrick Ricard, number 42. He doesn't show up on the stat sheet a lot, but he's a big part of their offense as a point of attack blocker, a lead back. He does a lot without the ball for the Ravens, and we're not quite sure if Isaiah Likely, a very good receiving threat at tight end, will play or not. He had a foot surgery. He's on his way back. But this is the deepest group of skill players, I think, in the NFL. They got 5 receivers that can really hurt you. They have a great tight end room, and they've got a couple backs, and they got a magnificent quarterback. So they can really do a lot. What I love about what Coach Harbaugh has done with his team is he's put them all on notice. Hey, you're here for a reason, man. You're here to contribute. For instance, DeAndre Hopkins, he puts on number 10. He comes in here, he looks like D-Hop earlier in his Houston Texan career. Derrick Henry looks as good as he's ever looked. And obviously, the emergence of some of these young players like Devontae Walker, over here, Tylan Wallace. They got a lot of guys that are making contributions. Andrew Voorhees has come in and taken over at left guard. Seamless transition. It's impressive. You know, Lamar Jackson is a great player. We can go over all of his stats and all the reasons why, but to simply put it, he is winning in the pocket as good as any quarterback throwing it. I mean, his accuracy down the field is stellar, and he can escape with the best of them. And they have an arsenal of plays and players that surround him. And now being in the 3rd year of Todd Monken's system, there's a lot of things that are really happening naturally to him. They can design runs for Jackson, and you got to stop those if you're on the defense. He can escape from pressure, and he can create a lot of offense scrambling. You know, since the start of 2024, Jackson has eliminated a lot of negative plays. He has rushed for 274 yards on scramble plays alone, and he's thrown for over 700. I'm talking about just scramble plays. So when he creates his own playbook, God help you, it's miserable on defenses. What I'm interested in is what are they doing with their system? Last year when I watched them, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Patrick Ricard, they used this tight end room extensively. And now with D-Hop here, Rashad Bateman was re-signed, Zay Flowers went to the Pro Bowl. It almost looks like they're switching a little bit towards an 11 personnel. One back and one tight end. How many receivers, Clay? Three. I even see some trips, I call it trips X isolation. You know, when you're the X receiver, you go away from the call, and a lot of times that's DeAndre Hopkins over the course of his career. But Baltimore will put trips to one side of the field. There you see the Y tight end, the F receiver, and the Z receiver. You have Derrick Henry in the backfield. Normally, coverages rotate to the trip side. And when you get single coverage on the backside, Lamar Jackson can just look over there and go, touchdown, DeAndre Hopkins. So they have a horse that they can isolate on the backside, and it showed up a little bit against Cleveland last week. But where are they with the tight ends? You know, Mark Andrews, here's a guy that's a Pro Bowl tight end. He had 11 touchdowns last year. He's only had like 2 catches for 7 yards. Isaiah Likely's been hurt. He has 0, and Ricard is hurt. So what's happening with the tight ends? Are they coming back? Are they going to emphasize the tight ends? We'll never know because Todd Monken has a lot of switches that he can pull. And Derrick Henry, only 11 carries, 23 yards last week. We got to see what happens this week. Will the Detroit Lions load up the box and dare Lamar Jackson to throw it? Or will they loosen up the box because Lamar did rip a couple big play touchdowns down the field last week? But they need to get the king, Derrick Henry, back in gear. He just passed Jim Brown as 6th all-time in touchdowns on the ground. And he's closing in on Walter Payton. How good is that, Jake? Very good. The Ravens got to have a plan for Aiden Hutchinson, number 97. He plays 50% of the time on the left, 50% of the time on the right. So tight ends are going to have to nudge them. Running backs are going to have to chip them. Hutchinson, good news to everybody, especially Lions fans, he's back. He showed some great shit last week, man, especially late in that game against the Chicago Bears. The Detroit Lions on defense are led by Kelvin Shepard. Remember, he took over for Aaron Glenn, who left to go to the Jets. Shepard will be calling his 3rd career game. He's a fiery guy. He's aggressive. I don't see the Lions playing as much man-to-man as they did last year. Of course, that could change. They might want to load up the box and play some man coverage, but I've seen more zone coverage, and a lot of the blitzes that Shepard has called have been zone blitzes, overload blitzes with zone coverage underneath it. What is their rush plan against Lamar Jackson? You can't just tell your guys to go get him. They've got to stunt the front. They've got to do a great job of mushing the rush at times, containing Jackson. Do not let Lamar Jackson escape the pocket or he will kill you, man. That goes without saying. They have a guy, Derek Barnes, number 55. I saw him line up as a defensive tackle last week. He popped out and spied on Caleb Williams in case Caleb Williams took off. Might they use Branch? Might they use a guy like Derek Barnes to spy on the quarterback? And wherever Lamar goes, that spy, you got to try to catch him. That doesn't mean it's going to work, but I've seen a lot of people deploy that type of tactic. They used a lot of different looks last week against the Bears. They came out with 3 down defensive linemen and 3 linebackers and 5 DBs. I call it a 33 nickel, and they give Chicago some different blitzes and some different overload looks. Perhaps that 3 down lineman, 3 linebacker, 5 DB set will be something they use against Lamar Jackson to get more speed on the field. I would keep an eye on that if I were a Lion fan. These linebackers, remember, Jack Campbell, number 46, is nursing an ankle. I would worry about him a little bit against Justice Hill, pass receiving third down specialist coming out of the backfield of the Ravens. I've seen Justice Hill do some nasty things to people on choice routes, choice takeoffs. Be careful of Hill, number 34 in the passing game. And I think the Lions got to be ready for the reemergence of the tight ends of the Ravens. I mean, if Isaiah Likely plays, he's going to get some passes. And if Mark Andrews is still the Mark Andrews I remember, don't lose sight of that man down the seam. He's capable of big plays. You don't catch more touchdown passes than any man in the history of the Ravens, unless you're a badass. So don't lose sight of the tight ends, even though they've been quiet for the first 2 days. They got to eliminate the explosive plays on defense. Last year, as good as these safeties are for the Lions, they gave up 62 explosive pass plays of over 20 yards. And that's the one thing Lamar's doing the best job he's ever done before. He is cranking it down the field, man. So we got to stay on top in our coverage and not let the Ravens have any quick strikes against us. That's going to be a big part of this game. The big thing, too, for these defensive ends, particularly Aiden Hutchinson, is they got to deal with conflict. And if you're a young pass rusher out there, what does conflict mean? Well, anytime Lamar is in the shotgun and that back is offset to your side, if you're the defensive end, you could be put in conflict. They might put the ball in his chest and read you. They might not even block you. You'll see it in this game. They will not block Hutchinson. They'll put him in conflict. If that tackle blocks down and he chases Derrick Henry, Lamar will keep it. If he comes up the field, he's going to give it. But you'll see a lot of times Hutchinson will have like a surf technique. He'll be surfing down the line of scrimmage, making sure that he can be a factor on the give to Henry, and he can recover and tackle Jackson if he keeps it. You guys understand what I'm saying? Do you understand, Clay?
Got it.
Conflict, man. If you can't block a great pass rusher, read him. Don't block him. Put him under conflict. That, if you ask Hutchinson, I'll bet he'll say, that really pisses me off when people do that. You guys like that? All right, the matchups in this game, the Ravens. They have an experienced offensive line. They have a Pro Bowl left tackle in Ronnie Stanley. They got a Pro Bowl center in Tyler Linderbaum. They're going to run toss plays to the left. And this Pro Bowl tackle, Stanley, he gets in, up, and out and blocks these linebackers as good as anybody. I did see Myles Garrett give Stanley problems last week. Perhaps Hutchinson saw that and will go test him himself. They do have one of the bigger right guards I've ever seen, Daniel Faalele. This guy comes out of Minnesota. He wears 77. He can smash you. And the right tackle, second-year pro Roger Rosengarten. He's wearing number 70. I haven't seen him give up a sack. I haven't seen him give up a pressure. He hasn't been in trouble yet. This guy's playing his ass off. So remember that. Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson could come over here 50% of the times, or he could come over there. I think that'll be dependent on who he feels he can go get. The big thing for the Lions is with Davenport, number 92, out, who picks up the slack and rushes opposite Aiden Hutchinson? They have this guy, number 96 in Detroit. His name is Muhammad. He played his freaking ass off last week. He comes in, he plays 36 snaps, he has a sack, and when I see a guy come out of the stack, I love it. I mean, he's rushing a passer, there's a stack of bodies, and all of a sudden the ball's thrown over there, and number 96 comes flying out of there, man. This guy plays his ass off. He's a Gruden grinder candidate. 96 Muhammad, I like him. Keep an eye on number 53, Nowaski. He played defensive end last year when they had some injuries. Perhaps Dan Campbell calls on Nowaski. I don't know. They had Pat O'Connor, number 95, playing defensive end against the Bears when Davenport went down. He's more of a run stuffer, though. And again, Derek Barnes, number 55, he's healthy. He missed most of last season. He might put his hand down and rush the passer. But the Lions have got to get consistent pressure and collapse the pocket against Lamar Jackson. Now, Derrick Henry, when he runs that ball up inside, he's going to run into a 660-pound wall, man, of DJ Reader, number 98, and Tyleik Williams, their rookie from Ohio State. These guys are huge. Tyleik Williams hasn't had a great pass rush, but he did show some twitch and bat down 2 balls last week against the Bears. And DJ Reader, one of the premier run defenders in football. They're going to have to do a hell of a job pushing the pocket and creating opportunities for the edge rushers, and they're going to have to really negate the inside running game to Derrick Henry. The backup defensive tackles, keep an eye on 51, Lopez. He came over from Arizona. And the inside rusher that I like is Mekhi Wingo, number 94. I think they'll take Reader out in some pass rush situations and lean on Wingo to come in and get some things done. Remember, the Lions are missing Aleem McNeil, their best inside pass rusher. So although they have the run defenders, I don't think they have a lot of juice rushing the passer inside either, similar to the Ravens, who are missing Matabike, their best inside rusher. Knock on a grease board if you're with me. The matchups on the outside, I absolutely love DJ Reed, the right corner of the Lions. They got him in free agency. They brought him in to replace Carlton Davis. He has played his ass off. He is a physical corner that will tackle in the briar patch. He's got coverage ability, and he's going to get to see young Devontae Walker, number 81, who all he does is score touchdowns, and DeAndre Hopkins, number 10. Hopkins has only played 28 snaps in 2 games, but you know when he's in there because they throw him the ball and he catches it, and he makes big plays. Over here is a second-year corner, Terrion Arnold, number 6. And Arnold has struggled a little bit this year. He got beat for a touchdown. He had a PI last week against the Bears. He's been targeted 16 times. But what I love about Arnold is he has a thick skin. He can go on to the next play. If it's a good play, next play. If it's a bad play, next play. He'll line up, he'll compete, and he's going to continue to get better. But keep an eye on Arnold because Rashad Bateman and Tylan Wallace of the Ravens are going to come outside and give him some work, man. It's going to be interesting. And Zay Flowers, he's the first wide receiver to go to the Pro Bowl in Baltimore Raven history. He wears number 4. He's a badass. He runs all kind of crossing routes, jet sweeps, quick screens. They try every which way they can to get his hands on the ball. When he's in the slot, he'll be up against Amik Robertson, the ex-Raider, wearing number 21. If he wants to go out there, he gets DJ Reed. You want to bring him over here, he's going to get Arnold. But Flowers is a guy that the Lions must deal with. He's going to be a focal part of the passing game. We've already talked about Mark Andrews. 55 catches, 673 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's been invisible. They better not forget about him. Isaiah Likely, can you hear that? He's in the bullpen. He's coming back soon. And when he does, he's a problem as well. But this guy here, number 88, Charlie Kolar, he is the Gruden grinder of the Baltimore Ravens. With Patrick Ricard out, this man has been very important to Baltimore. He is playing 60% of the snaps on offense, 40% of the snaps on special teams. Here's a guy that blocks his ass off. Pass protects, run blocks. You know what, Iowa State, he caught 157 passes for 2,000 yards, 20 touchdowns from Brock Purdy. Everybody at Iowa State, they saw him in the slot. He was not even a core blocker. Now everybody at Iowa State's saying, what the hell happened to Charlie Kolar? He's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. I love what tight end coach George Godsey has done with Kolar. And I know Andrews and Likely will be back. So it's important that these linebackers, Jack Campbell, with that ankle that he has, are ready to roll. And Alex Anzalone, God, I love watching him play. His hair is on fire, as they used to say. He's all over the place. His playing style's contagious. These 2 linebackers are going to have their hands full with the tight ends and obviously Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. This game has it all, man. I would take the over. I think this is going to be a high-scoring, down-to-the-wire football game. So make sure you get a nap sometime Monday and you're ready to stay up late because this could go into overtime. Well, these are two of my favorite teams, but you got to pick somebody. I think the blackout, the Baltimore Ravens are going to win 38-37. A 2-point play late, it just doesn't happen. Baltimore gets a huge win at home, and what a game this is going to be. Take the over.